All right, so it's all but confirmed from Juiced Bikes that Juiced is going out of business. Now, this has been a rumor that's been kind of circulating through the industry now for quite some time. I actually heard about a couple of brands who were thinking about absorbing Juiced to prevent it from going out of business or possibly taking on a lot of its inventory. I can't really talk about that, but I'm going to try to see if I can get some permission to be able to talk about those things. And I also reached out to Juiced for comment about this. I won't hold my breath on if we're going to get maybe a comment or maybe a podcast from them. But comment below your guys' concerns with the Juiced products as we get through this topic. So Micah Toll from Electrek just released the article called E-Bike Maker Juiced Bikes Appears to Collapse Amid Silence from Owners. Now, these are owners that are probably having issues with their bikes when it comes to maintenance or warranty. And a call center or an email service to be able to reach out to a brand is definitely something that is a must when it comes to brands. Now, there are rumors of other brands possibly going out of business, and I don't want to put those brands' names out there just yet because I do have one of them coming up on a podcast here pretty soon to end the speculation, because I don't want there to be any more speculation around it until it comes from their mouth. With that being said, I want you guys to speculate on who you think the brand is in the comment section below. But Micah goes on to talk about how much of a pioneer Juiced was in this industry, starting in 2010. Coming out with a lot of the bikes and a lot of the styles that we've come to know today. Since then, there's been so much competition. There have been brands like Electrek, Rad Power, Aerial Rider, Super 73, Ride One Up. So many different brands like that that have come into the space and taken a big chunk of the pie, but also at a more affordable price point in some people's opinions, such as mine. Now, I don't want to categorize Super 73 as a affordable option, but, you know, it's one of those bikes that a lot of people keep on buying. But what you notice with Super 73 versus Juiced and those other brands I mentioned is Super 73 is not going out of their lane. And what I mean by that is they're sticking with the fat tire, aggressive, like e-moto style bikes, which in my personal opinion, I think they're a bit overpriced for what they are, but that's a different video. Now, when it comes to Juiced, they have bikes that are comparable to some of the brands I've mentioned before. And they have step-through bikes, fat tire mountain bikes, these style of e-moto style and slash BMX like look and feel about them, which is a really cool design, but they haven't really done anything innovative in a long time. And my speculation is that's the reason why they're going out of business. They're not able to make the sales because they basically aren't bringing anything new to the table. Brands such as Velotric and other brands I've had here on the channel have listened to the creators as well as the riders when they want to see something new change with the bike. A good example is whenever I trash a bike and it has mechanical disc brakes, most of the time those brands immediately go to hydraulic disc brakes. They want to sell bikes. And the way you do that is not only to listen to the consumer and the people like me, but also keeping them at an affordable price point. And when you're on Juiced website right here, it says 20% off site-wide using promo. Now, we already know, I just established that they're going bankrupt. They have no bikes to sell. And a good example will be when I click the bike, let's just say, we'll click this guy right here, their new foldable one, $21.99 from $27.99, boom, out of stock. This product is currently sold out. We expect more soon. I've heard rumors on Facebook and other forums where people have made orders and they have no way of getting in contact with the brand. And I'm doing this video because I think it's something that a lot of brands should look into. If they don't have customer service, they need to sub it out to a third party. If they don't have warranty services, especially if you go out of business, think about that. If you as a business, I feel like we should hold businesses accountable to where there should be like an insurance style service, or maybe there should be a brand that's specifically based around warrantying bike companies. So just say Juiced goes out of business, who's to claim that business and do all the warranty claims? Nobody right now. So it's up to you, the consumer, to know how to work on your bike. And there are forums on Facebook, and there's actually people in the comment section below of a lot of my videos that are really well informed on how to do these repairs. Now, it does suck that like this bike right here is a beautiful looking bike. It honestly, I think would do really well, but that price point is way too high. And I know why the price point is high, because if you look at the 1200 watt motor with a 2000 watt peak and it ships in a class 2, that's really appealing to a lot of people. But with the laws and regulations that are coming down the pipeline in the US and have basically been cookie cutted from the UK, these bikes aren't going to be able to be sold. And unless we as people, as riders, do something about it, form a committee, this is the best I can do. I would love to work with a lot of people in the comment section below, maybe in your area, talk to our legislators to try to get these regulations to not come from the UK to the US so that bike brands like this don't go out of business. So it ships as a class 2, but can also be configured through the LCD display as a class 3 to allow the off-road adventures, it says. As a 52-volt 19-amp-hour battery pack, and can go 30 miles per hour under throttle only or 34 miles per hour under pedal assist, which is beastly. I mean, that is a really good spec sheet in my personal opinion, but there are people out there that abuse these settings. And I'm not going to say that I don't ride fast on trails. I do, but I also won't do it around, let's just say, family or people running that have headphones on or other people riding their bikes. I'm not going to ride aggressive. I don't want to be that guy. And I'm also not going to shame you for doing it, but it's up to you and us as a group to collectively try to be better as riders. With that being said, this price point, in my personal opinion, is way too high. You have brands like Ride One Up, you have brands like Electric that have price points of under $1,000 for a foldable bike. Now, granted, their bike's not going to be a 52-volt pack, but they're going to have the ability to be able to reach a more targeted viewer base and rider base with the price points of $899, $999, and even $1299 for their highest spec versions. Now, this does seem appealing. You know, right now I'm like, man, 2000 watt peak, that's pretty solid. I personally would not even spend $1,500 on this bike. That's just my personal opinion. It's a bit overpriced for what it is. And brands like JUICED and other brands also are still kind of behind in the sense where they're using 7-speed Shimano shifter systems. They're not upgrading to the 10-speed rapid fire shifters. They're just a cleaner look, much more of a better and more solid ride. But then if we go to their other bikes, right? I mean, everybody makes like now one of these guys. So JUICED wasn't the first one to come to the game with it, but Super 73 definitely took over the space with this style bike. And since then, they've kind of stuck in their lane, like I said. And personally, I see brands like JUICED and Aerial Rider and Ride One Up and other brands try to take a little piece of the pie from Super 73 to try to make it more affordable. But a lot of people aren't leaving the Super 73 segment because of the customization factors, because it's more of a culture effect when it comes to Super 73. But personally, like I said, I think they're a bit overpriced for what they are, but they're super easy to customize. This bike retails for $17.99. Now, it's not a terrible deal. Himiway makes something very, very similar. Like I said, there's so many options that are out there, and I think that the industry being so oversaturated with cookie-cut designs like this is what is making this happen. Now, Super 73 sticks out because they have like proprietary things about their frames. They take out specific CAD drawings and have all types of proprietary things about their bike when it comes to the motor, the battery, the controller system. I mean, it's pretty ingenious on their part, as well as, like, think about this, like Super 73 even spends a bit more money to have specific tires for their bikes. Not to say that JUICED couldn't do that, but like a tire mold isn't cheap. They're like 30 grand to make a tire mold. Now, JUICED puts on, you know, maybe a Kenda tire, even though Super 73 might be working with Kenda to use a specific mold to just put the 73 logo in there. But it's that extra edge that makes people want to buy those things. Now, as we get further into it right now, I'm gonna list the article and everything I'm talking about in the description below. But if you look at their other bikes, so if we go down here, look, they have another one, the Scrambler. This is very much like the Super 73. Still, super high price point in my personal opinion. A lot of brands are coming out with bikes that look just like this, have a similar spec sheet, a bit better of certain specs, maybe brakes, handlebar setups, and so on, for around $1,200 to $1,500. Now, a lot of people might be commenting, well, it's the issue of the tariffs might be the issue, or the reason why this company went out of business, which there might be some real truth behind that. But I also just got back from an event with a bike brand where they try to keep they don't try to charge people more money to try to make more money. Their goal is to get as many people on bikes as possible, and that is their whole motive behind everything. Now, I can tell how much every one of these bikes cost. I've been in the industry long enough. I know how much parts cost, and breaking things down like this, I look at this bike. because it's a cookie cut design, like these frames are mass made through Chinese manufacturers, and a lot of brands like to just slap their logo on them. This bike is probably made for in and around $300 or less shipped to the customer. Now, I know you might think that's mind-blowing and unbelievable, but trust me, I've seen the sheets on this, and where it becomes a bit more expensive for brands is the containers. So these containers that are shipped from China can be upwards of $22, $25, maybe even $30,000. So they try to cram as many bikes in there as they possibly can, but they have to pass the cost on to the customer. Now, the brand I just got back with, they're not passing those costs on to the customers. Their bikes have been the same price since day one, and that's their goal. Their goal is not to change anything, but to give you more, which I can't wait to share that with you guys here in a future video. Let's get straight into the next bike. Like I said, these are all my personal opinions on this. There's no facts behind this except for the numbers I just said and the fact that they are going out of business. But it's a lot of speculation that I like to have when I'm trying to figure these things out, because there's not a lot of info. I've reached out to Juice. Like I said, I'm not holding my breath for their comment back. But so you have a step-through design like this and a high-step design. See the price, $18.99, way too high. I mean, there's bikes, I've listed it in the description below, that you can check out from all different brands. Much cleaner, sleeker designs. These batteries here on top of the frame, no, that is like 4 or 5 years ago technology and designing, in my personal opinion. These are some of the reasons why I personally think that they went out of business. It's not shooting any shots or shade at Juiced, but you got to follow the trends and where people want these things to go, and you can't be scared to take chances. It didn't look like they're scared to take chances on having a ton of different bikes, like a lot of different bikes. And I say that because most brands, I'll give Velotric as an example, they kind of stick to their niche. They'll have a commuter style bike, a fat tire mountain bike, a traditional mountain bike, but they're not jumping into these fine little niches, right? So like if I went to the Rip Racer is something I would buy because it's more geared towards a younger audience. It's a BMX related frame, BMX kind of specs to it, little BMX handlebar. These are all things you can upgrade on your own. Price point's still a little too high for me, but it is what it is. I think like $12.99 would have been a really good price point. But, you know, 1-year bike warranty. How are they going to fulfill that? Support and service. Let's see what they got here. You can't even click it. How crazy is that? Chat with us. Let's see what they say. Can you even chat with them? Oh, they have all these traditional things. You can't even... Are you belly up? See if they understand that. I know. Calm down, guys. I know it's a little messed up, I said. We're finding out. Here's an article to help. No. They wouldn't even let you type back. It's so funny. We're going to leave this alone. But anyway, so they have no way to like kind of reach back out to them. And so I got this article here from Micah. He goes on to talk about what the brand has been able to do since 2010 until now, how innovative they are. He mentions a lot of the same things I talked about with popular brands that have come out to really take a big chunk out of the pie when it comes to Rad Runner, Electric, and so on. It's a sad thing. I don't like seeing any businesses go out of business, especially in this community. But it's kind of inevitable if you're not going to bring anything new to the table. They are up for auction. Kind of curious on if another brand's going to pick them up. I want you to comment below if you think another brand's going to pick them up, or if they're going to be able to come back. Come back just like the fact that we've seen other brands go out of business and come back, such as Onyx. So word on the street is Onyx is coming back. In what capacity? We're going to have to find out. I'll definitely keep you guys posted with that. So they've been around a long time. It is sad they are going out of business. They are out of business. If you have a Juiced bike and you recently purchased it, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you have one right now and you have a ton of miles on it, I want to know what your experience is with it. Have you had any experience where you've had to talk to the warranty service? Has it lasted you a really long time? Are you working on your bike yourself? Let me know in the comments section below. With that being said, if you guys like this video, drop a like. If you love it, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one.